strategies. So these are strategies for reducing stress. They came from the Government of Canada, Health Canada. And the first one is quite simple, really, and very effective. Yeah, I just told you that I like to journal and write out what's going on for me when I'm feeling stressed. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an example of how I do that. I actually like to do a mind map often, because when I'm feeling stressed, my brain can kind of feel like this, like a big ball of yarn that's just all tangled up and I don't know where to begin. Can anyone relate? So what I find useful about writing is it gives me a way to kind of separate things out and get some of that perspective I was talking about, so that I can figure out, okay, so what do I do now? So I'm going to imagine and invite you to imagine along with me that I'm back doing my studies to become a counselor. This was in 2000, well, let's say before 2010, for those of you who are keeping track. And stress was a very common experience in those times. So sometimes if I just felt that tangled up feeling, I would just pull out a pen and paper and then write out something like this in the middle of the page. And then I would mind map it. Some of you may be familiar with mind maps, but if you're not, basically it's just sort of a brainstorming tool. So then I would sort of think to myself, okay, what are the elements that are causing me stress right now? And maybe it was midterms coming up, too many. And then maybe paper due on Friday. And haven't arranged to meet or met with my group about our presentation. Okay, and then, oh, you know what? Also, sometimes no clean clothes left. Get the idea. So I would just kind of like think about what are the different elements that are weighing on me. And then from there, first of all, there would just be like, oh, okay, I'm not holding it all in. It's at least it's here on the paper and it feels a little bit more manageable. But then from there, the next step is to think about what steps can you take to address the things that are causing you stress. So again, I would draw some lines like this, and then identify the things that I could do. So, well, this one was easy. So I'd sometimes start with the things that were less mentally demanding. So do laundry on a study break. And maybe fold clothes. While listening to recorded lecture. And then for the paper, maybe it would be like, hopefully not just create outline, because hopefully I'd already done that, but let's say I was really running late, create outline, and then I always like to have a good to-do list stemming from an outline. So then I would add that. So then all of a sudden, the sort of problem areas start to generate their own action steps, and making them small and manageable rather than just like write paper, but actually thinking what are the specific things that I can do really helped me to move from a place of feeling overwhelmed to figuring out, okay, what are the steps that will lead me in the right direction. So this is something that you might want to try yourself. Just pull out a blank piece of paper and think about what are the different stressors that are going on for me and what might I do about them. I'm actually going to go back to the previous slide to continue the list. So yeah, work towards solutions really involves identifying what are the steps I can take to help to reduce my stress or address the issues that are going on, and then obviously to start doing those steps. Talk about what's bothering you talking about what we're feeling inside is another way of externalizing and feeling like we're not alone in carrying whatever load it is that we are currently struggling with. So whether that's with a friend, family member, or a trained professional, that often can be really beneficial. Learn about stress management, they say, and I personally have found that participating in yoga or other calming activities like Tai Chi or Pilates that have kind of a focus on the body can be a really great way to learn about how we feel stress in our bodies and how to bring about our relaxation response. There are lots of self-help resources available, and counseling can be another way to learn about tools for managing stress. Reducing physical tension is a really good tool for helping to reduce stress. Many studies have shown that exercise and physical activity produces endorphins, which are chemicals in the brain that act as natural painkillers and also improve the ability to sleep, which can reduce stress. And that regular participation in aerobic exercise has been shown to decrease overall levels of tension, elevate and stabilize mood, improve sleep, and improve self-esteem. Even 5 minutes of aerobic exercise can stimulate anti-anxiety effects. And that could be as moderate as just a mild walk around the block, like I was describing earlier. So we can sometimes think, oh, exercise means I have to go for a 10-kilometer run, but really no, like even just 5 minutes of getting your heart rate up, even just a little bit, can be very beneficial. Dancing is another great way to get cardio and bring some fun to your day. You could also try a tense and release exercise, progressive relaxation. This is really simple to do. I actually can lead you through a little exercise of this right now. So just imagine, feel your feet and your lower limbs, your legs, and just for a minute, just try and tense them up as much as you can. So tense your toes, your feet, your legs, and then release. Notice what it feels when you release. And now tense your stomach and your chest, and then release. And notice if there's some relaxation that comes when you release. And now with your arms, hands, arms, shoulders, and neck, tense, 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 release. Now this is going to be fun. You can do it with your face too. So tense up all the muscles in your face, and then relax. And just take a moment. And the most important part of that exercise, which was very brief, you could certainly do it for longer by isolating particular body parts. But the most important part is just to notice what it feels like to relax, that experience of physically letting go of tension. Other strategies for reducing stress include taking your mind off your troubles, at least for a while. So letting yourself sometimes set aside the heavy things that you're carrying and just seek out some joy and comfort and fun, and to always be gentle with yourself. I think Sam and I talk about this a lot, about self-compassion and just knowing that there's nothing wrong with you if you're experiencing stress. It's a normal part of life, and just very gently, rather than thinking, oh, I shouldn't feel this way, just recognizing this is really human and there are things I can do to take care of myself. So I'm going to move